Hey, 7th grade, Mr. Hildebrand here. We are still working on our Homer essay. Okay, the Trojan War essay. Is Homer lying or is Homer telling the truth? We've watched our documentary together. We've read an article together. We've done a lot of research. You guys have organized your evidence into truths and lies. And we started filling out our outline. Okay, because we know eventually we're going to have to write an essay proving whether he's telling the truth, whether he's lying. And so the other day we worked on our introduction paragraph. Okay, now I gave you guys an example here. Obviously, you're not copying mine word for word. You might have some similar ideas, but it's going to be your words. But we went through what the different parts of an introduction paragraph are and then how to write one. So we kind of went through an example and you have your own written. Now we move on to our body paragraphs. Okay, our body paragraphs. Now, folks, the body paragraphs, that's where your real information is going to be. That's where the person's going to be really convinced by the evidence that you found, whether Homer's lying or telling the truth. Now, if you need a quick reminder about where to find any of this stuff, we did work on a T-chart earlier. Here are the videos of us putting the T-chart, all our facts together into truths and lies. Here's an article. If you go to last week's page, you can find the videos that we watched together. And then here's the outline in the video that we started on the introduction. Okay, so you can always go back and check those out if you need to catch up. Now, folks, in our thesis statement, which was the last part of our introduction paragraph, we listed 3 reasons why Homer was lying or telling the truth. You got to choose. What you're going to do, if you notice, one second, sorry about that. So anyways, our thesis statement, we have 3 reasons why. You guys told me Homer was lying or telling the truth, and the 3 reasons why. Check this out. We have body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and body paragraph 3. Now notice we have 3 reasons why in our thesis, 3 body paragraphs. That means each one of these reasons why is going to turn into a body paragraph where you just explain in more detail. Okay. So for example, you need to have a transition sentence. Okay? Just like when you're talking to somebody. If you're talking to somebody and you just randomly throw a fact in there, okay, like cows have 4 stomachs. That comes out of nowhere, right? That seems totally unrelated, right? It seems like you weren't paying attention. Same thing with your writing. If you just randomly throw facts on paper, it's not going to make sense to the reader. You got to transition, okay? So if you just randomly throw out there and you want to talk about the weapons and the armor, right? You're going to have to transition, right? So you might say something like, in Homer's epic, he writes extensively about the warfare of the time. Okay, well now the person knows, okay, we're talking about Homer, we're talking about his story, we're talking about war, okay? Well now, if you're trying to talk about how he got the armor and weapon right, or whether you're trying to talk about how he got it wrong, you can put that in your claim. Remember, the claim is your point that you're trying to make. So tell me right here, is he lying or telling the truth? Homer is blank about the weaponry or the the armor. Fill in the blank. Is he lying or telling the truth? Okay, that's your claim. That's your point. Now, your data. How do you know? What's your first piece of evidence? Really good way to do this. Look back at your first piece of evidence from your thesis statement, your first blank, and use that as your data here. If you're struggling to find stuff, maybe you should double check your truth and lies chart. Okay, lots of evidence we got from the video, the Discovery Ed documentary, and the article. Okay, warrant. Now, warrant, that's where you're going to explain how your data proves your claim. Okay, how does this information prove your point? Okay, if you think he's lying, how does that show he's lying? Explain it to everybody. Okay, explain it like this person doesn't go to our school, they're not in our class, they didn't watch the videos we watched. Okay, maybe pretend like it's a younger brother and sister. Okay, explain everything. Pretend like they know nothing. They just moved here yesterday. All right, and then we got to transition to our new idea. Okay, now our next idea is going to be for body paragraph number 2. It's going to be reason number 2 for my thesis. So we need to transition over to that. Okay, so find how these are related. So if you're going to talk about weapons in this first paragraph, And let's say you want to talk about the city's location in the second paragraph. Maybe you link them that way. Okay, maybe you talk about, hey, in Troy, they found evidence of arrowheads, right? And then you're still transitioning. You can say, Homer was, and then right or wrong about the weapons, right? One way that he was right or wrong about the weapons was, and we can transition to, maybe talking about geography. We say our claim could be one thing he was definitely right about was the geography, where the city was located, based on where the archaeologists found those arrowheads, right? Then you could talk about Heinrich Schliemann, right? You can come on over here, talk about the 7 cities or the 9 cities that they found, okay? How potentially Homer mixed them together, okay? These are all just hypotheticals, okay? You might use those things if you're talking about telling the truth. You might go to this chart and find other facts if you think he's telling a lie, okay? But regardless, same process. Transition to your new topic. What's your new claim? What's your point? Is he lying or telling the truth? Because why? Your data, okay? This is your evidence from the thesis. So go back up to the thesis, pick your reason number 2, and explain it a little bit more, okay? And your data right here. And then your warrant, you're explaining it, okay? How does this data, how does this fact prove that Homer's lying or telling the truth, okay? And then transition to your next paragraph. So you're going to do that. You're going to have 3 body paragraphs, 3 pieces of evidence in your thesis. So the 3 reasons from your thesis turn into your 3 body paragraphs. Now, eventually, you need a conclusion paragraph. You need to tie it all together. Remind the reader one more time why you're right. So, a lot of times what we can do is restate our claims. Okay, so if you just restate your claim from paragraph 1, just use different words, summarize it. You can do that again for paragraph 2, restate your claim in different words, and restate your claim for reason 3, okay, paragraph 3. And then one more time, restate your thesis. Okay, take your thesis from that introductory paragraph, put it one more time at the end, maybe switch a couple words, make it sound a little fresh. You've already written all that great information. You just need to remind them about it, okay, so that when they leave, the last thing they're thinking about is all the evidence you talked about, okay? Folks, if you run into questions or you get stuck trying to fill in some of these different parts of your outline, let me know, okay? Let me know, and I can help you out. So send me an email. I'd love to help you on that. All right, thanks, folks.